It feels good. It feels better to get our first win. We're so early in the season. I think just still figuring each other out. And me personally figuring out, missing the preseason, but this is kind of my test run playing with a lot of these guys. Everybody's still figuring each other out, so it's good to get the first one.
Kevin, when you have a performance like that after coming off of a major surgery, who do you think about when it comes to, hey, it got me to this point and got me through the dark days of the summer and being able to get back on the court?
I had a lot of support. People I've worked out with every summer in my career. Family obviously has been super supportive, and individually just pushing through an injury like that to get to this point. It was a goal of mine last year when it happened to be back game one, and was able to see that goal and continuing to get myself in the swing of things. It's just good, honestly, to be back in the routine of playing and with the guys and playing these games.
Big emphasis on perimeter defense for you guys, limiting their paint touches. How do you feel like you guys did in that tonight and holding them for 22 from three?
Getting better. We fouled a little bit. Some of the fouls, I think, can't speak for them, but I think they'll take if we want to be crowding the paint, making teams beat us from three, and we're a little bit better tonight. We just have to be a little better in not fouling.
Building off the defense, Kevin, to have a first half like that that's kind of ugly, muddy, slow, but to be able to maintain a lead so that the offense could come with the play on the defensive end, how rewarding and encouraging is that for this group to win a game like that too?
Yeah, I thought the whole game was muddy and ugly and just weird flow, to be honest, and especially that first quarter where it felt like we weren't scoring, and I think we looked up and they had 14 or 18 points, and you're like, what's happening in this game right now? So those are the ones you need to win. It's good to win those, obviously, at home. Again, I still think we're figuring each other out. We need to play faster. We need to get out in transition. We need to rebound better defensively, and those are all things I think we went in and emphasized in this game, and hopefully we shoot a little bit better tomorrow night.
Kevin, what's the ultimate impact offensively when you've got yourself, DeMar, Keegan, a bunch of other players outside of just Domas that have been initiating the offense? What does that do for the group as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, we feel like we have three offensive nucleuses that can really just go get it. And, a lot of the stuff we do is just creating space for those guys. And, us being able to initiate offense, I think is a lot of times looking at matchups and trying to put guys in the right position to get DeMar and Fox and Domas in spots on the floor and matchups that they're comfortable with. And the rest of us just being ready to shoot and make plays when those guys get double teamed or need an outlet. And so I think that's a piece of it. I think as we continue to figure out what we're looking to do offensively, we'll play a little bit faster doing it. And but I feel like once we get into what we're trying to do, it's pretty effective.
Is it a little bit more varied than it was this season, though?
Some different actions, some different matchups I think we're looking at. Especially having DeMar and getting him going to his right hand and playing with Domas, I think, has been an emphasis. It feels like we're doing so far, and just stuff we have to continue to work through.
Kevin, through 3 games, the Kings are shooting 86% from the free throw line. DeMar was 9 of 10 tonight. Is that kind of like a lead by example type thing? Because I know there was a little issue with that last season, but it seemed like you guys are fixing it.
Yeah, DeMar's always been a good free throw shooter, so having him be one of the guys that gets there consistently over the course of a game helps in that. But we shoot free throws every day. You just got to make them when it matters.
Kevin, 0-5 preseason, 0-2 to start. As you said, you guys are figuring things out. But is there a sense of relief tonight just to kind of get that first one out of the way and light that beam for the first time in a while?
Yeah, especially starting this road trip. First 2 games, we were right in it against really good teams. I think teams that'll be in the mix in the West. And, games that we felt like we could have won, but that's why we get 82 of these. So you just got to knock down the first one. Now we get to go on the road for, about a week and change. And that would have stung a little bit if we didn't start it off right here at home.
Kevin, was there DeMar this morning called it kind of mandatory that you guys win this game. I don't know if there was an extra sense of urgency to get that first one at all.
I feel like anytime we play at home, there needs to be an urgency to win. And so, especially this early in the season, I think, we're we should have played desperate. I feel like we you know, coming into this, we just couldn't let them outwork us or play harder than us. And for the most part, I feel like, you know, we did that.
Kev, you mentioned having the three nucleuses. As a shooter like you, how fun is that when you know that they're going to command the majority of the defensive attention, and most often you should be getting some pretty good looks?
Yeah, it's, you know, continuing that we have to figure out. Even, you know, those three and the starters and Malik coming off the bench, a lot of guys that can make plays. I think we have a lot of different skill sets on this team and talented guys who can do a lot of things offensively and continue to put it together on the other end of the court, but continue to figure each other out and figure out how to get guys in spots they're comfortable in and, you know, be effective in those areas.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see. We're gonna get players going to post game so they can get treatment. So if Fox is gonna come, then Mike. If anyone needs to get in the locker room, we can open. Thank you.
De'Aaron, how does it feel to get the first win of the season, get the light the beam, and get to start this road trip on a good note?
It's definitely great to get that first one out the way. Obviously, we felt like we dropped one the first game of the season, but getting a win before going on a long road trip it's always good.
Fox, I'm just curious what you think of, you know, achieving that 10,000 point mark. Sacramento's only had two guys do it in their Sacramento era, fifth in the franchise history.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I forgot that I was actually close, but to do it at home and obviously to do it in a win makes it, you know, even that much more special. So not a lot of people get to do that, and obviously the average span of an NBA career is like 3.5, like literally one contract. So being able to be blessed to be in the league that long and being able to put the ball in the basket that many times is definitely a blessing.
And certainly there's no level of panic on your guys' end, but DeMar was talking about needing a sense of urgency, called it mandatory to get this win before this road trip. Just how did you look at coming into today and what you guys were able to achieve?
Yeah, we had to play desperate. Obviously, you don't want to start a season 0-3. Obviously, and then two of them being at home. So we couldn't let, obviously, a younger team come in and outwork us. And obviously, they were on a back-to-back. But, you know, we have one tomorrow, and that's you never want that to be an excuse. You know, if the ball doesn't go in, then the ball doesn't go in. But being outworked is something that you can't, you know, just come in and let somebody do, especially not at home.
De'Aaron, this is game 3. How do you feel like you guys are meshing, and how difficult is it to have sort of a couple of pieces gone during preseason and then such a big piece moving in DeMar?
I mean, I think offensively, I think it still works and it still flows because we have guys that can shoot the ball and we have guys that can pass the ball and get to their spots. So I feel like offensively, you know, it hasn't really been that hard for us to mesh. I think big thing for us is defense. Obviously, whenever we're getting defense, we look like a whole different team. You know, I think when we were playing Minnesota and we played LA, when we were able to string stops together, I think it makes our offense look even greater. And then obviously people are talking about chemistry, but I think it all starts on the defensive end for us.
Kind of building off that, Fox, the first half was pretty muddy in terms of shots not falling, and I thought this was one of the more complete wall-to-wall defensive performances that you guys have had over the last handful of years. To be able to win kind of a sloppy game like that and be able to sustain until your offense then woke up in the third quarter, how rewarding or encouraging is that for this group to win a game like that?
I mean, for us, obviously, we're not, a big team by any means, but in Portland last year and already this year is attempting the most shots at the rim. So I think, our first 3 games, we played 3 teams who really attacked the paint. So they were huge tests for us, and I think we're getting better by the game. And obviously, you want to continue that going forward, but I think that's kind of where it lies. Obviously, you want to continue to guard the three-point line well, but for the most part, guarding the three-point line starts with guarding the ball and then guarding the paint first.
Fox, you guys shot, I want to say 62% in the third quarter, 6 of 10 from 3. I don't know, was that maybe the best that has kind of felt for you guys so far? And how did you kind of get in that rhythm there after a sluggish first half?
I think touching the paint. I think that's where a lot of them come from. Obviously, Jay always talks about spray threes. I don't know if all teams track it, but whenever we keep track of how many times a team touches the paint, what their point per possession is, and how many times they don't touch the paint, and how many points per possession those are. And usually, whenever we're allowing teams to touch the paint, their points per possession skyrocket. So I think in that third quarter, we were able to touch the paint and just made offense a whole lot easier for ourselves.
Obviously, it's not news to you, but the way that DeMar gets to the line, just what stands out to you watching of what makes him so successful with that, and how much does it help your team?
Yeah, I mean, he does it so effortlessly. Sometimes it looks like he's like walking to a spot, and then obviously people are thirsty to try to get steals, get a deflection. People want to block his shot so bad and start jumping. So the way he does it, I mean, he just makes it look so easy and so unforced. And whenever your offense isn't really in the rhythm, everybody always says, try to get to the free throw line, try to get a layup, try to get an easy one. And he's able to do that for us.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Fox.
Yep.
It says a 0. Why a 0 if it says 4?
That's the tricky part.
Okay.
See?
Bet. Oh, goodness.
Good win by our guys. Portland's a young, scrappy team. They play very, very hard. Hi, Warren. How are you? Okay. They're scrappy. It doesn't matter if they're up big, down big, close game. They're going to get up in you and keep trying to disrupt you. And then they got those 2 big guys on the backside that clean a lot of stuff up at the rim. But I thought our guys were really good defensively. They shot 42% from the floor, 18% from the 2, and so our guys did a great job of trying to follow our game plan on the defense end of the floor. I thought, Keegan stuck his nose in there and rebounded. Doma stuck his nose in there and rebounded. Fox with 6 rebounds. Even Malik gave us a big spurt off the bench in the second half. He ended up with 4 rebounds, but he was really big in the run that we had in the second half to create separation. He obviously hit a couple of big threes, but he had a couple of big defensive possessions. He took a charge on a moving screen one time, and when stuff like that happens, it gives not only our team energy but the crowd. And when the crowd gets energized, obviously it just adds to what we're trying to do out on the floor. So Malik's spurt in the second half was really, really instrumental in us creating the separation that we needed to get over the hump. And then obviously, Foxy, I mean, man, what a career. What he's done for the city of Sacramento, for the organization, at such a young age to score his 10,000th point tonight, that should definitely be celebrated. So congratulations to him, Rasay, and the rest of the Fox family, because that's a neat milestone to hit at this point in his career.
And Mike, you guys had to kind of battle through that muddy first half, but to defensively be able to maintain a lead through that and allow your offense the time that it needed to kind of wake up in the second half, how encouraging is that to you to see the team's ability to win a game on that side of the floor in addition to the offense?
I mean, it's huge. The ball's not going to always go in. You're going to have to be able to play different ways, and that showed tonight. So for our guys to figure out how we can keep trying to get stops, while for a stretch there we did a pretty good job of keeping them off the free throw line, that kind of went away. But trying to get stops without fouling was huge, and it gave us enough time to find our rhythm offensively, and like you said, open the game up some.
Anything else? Last one, Tony.
Sorry, I'm just getting in here. I don't know what question was asked.
You good? You can ask me any question you want.
Thank you, Coach. You were able to suppress those starter minutes. I think it was all starters between 32, 35, 36 minutes. Were you, pretty pleased, being able to rest those guys at the right time?
Yes, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because I've been killing our guys, I mean, for them to get 40 minutes the first game, 37, 38, 39 minutes the second game, and finally the lead helped, but finally to get these guys at a decent number of minutes in tonight's game is very pleasing. Hopefully we can continue trying to find ways to keep those guys in the range that we talked about before the game tonight.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.